Hello and welcome back to your favorite Sacramento sports show.
Beam City Sports.
Yes, sir. We are back live on YouTube, live from the studio. Got my boys Luke and Devin with me. How we feeling today?
Feeling good right now. That Pacers win last night was having me jumping for joy, man. So I'm happy right now. How you feeling, Dev?
Oh no, I'm feeling pretty good. The Thunder series is probably over. It's whatever. We're all like, I don't know if we're rooting for the Thunder or against them really, but we all just, it is what it is. But the Pacers, it's over.
Talk
that
your
series
stuff,
is
Dev.
over too. They go into the finals. Tyrese not overrated. He had no turnovers, bro. 30, 10, 50, whatever it was with no turnovers. I can't even do that in my career. So, he's and whatever Stephen A was saying on the show the other day, he's a superstar. So right now.
Yeah, he for sure is a superstar. He, solidified that so far this playoffs, but we have a lot to get into today. If you're new here, go subscribe. We got the live chat going, so leave some comments in the chat. We'll be looking at that the whole show. But yeah, we just hit 257 subscribers, so big number.
We're counting everyone.
Yes, sir. We count everyone. So
counts.
if you're new here, go subscribe. Every subscriber counts. But yeah, we got some big stuff on the way. Going to be interviewing a Christian from Enjoy Basketball in a couple days. Also going to have Dom, the one-handed 7-foot phenom, on our show in a couple days as well. So some big things coming from Beam City Sports. But yeah, the playoffs is almost over at this point. We're almost down to the final two teams.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, the Pacers are up 3-1, and the Thunder are also up 3-1. Will we see a 3-1 comeback? We'll get into that later in the show. 96% of teams up 3-1 have won the series, so it's not a lot of teams that have come back from 3-1.
That 4% is like the Warriors and the Cavs.
Yeah, that 1 year. But yeah, and then we'll get into some A's and Giants talk at the end of the show. So it should be a fun one. So stick around, leave some thoughts in the chat. But yeah, we can jump right into the Eastern Conference Finals, what we saw last night. The Pacers dominating. They just find ways to win, man.
Yeah.
They're a fun team to watch. Like Devin said, Haliburton had 32 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists, 4 steals, and 0 turnovers. That is a perfect game in basketball standards. There's nothing he did wrong out there.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think? Just initial thoughts.
My first thought was I would do anything for Tyrese to be back in Sacramento.
I'll do anything for you, Tyrese.
I would do crazy things for you to be back in Sacramento. But no, I was happy for him. I've always been happy for him after he bloomed out there in Indiana.
Yep.
Got away from this organization that's been every move has been going down. But the Pacers are looking like not a miracle team, but it's just like the bad news Bears. Like they're gonna come and kill you. But it's I saw a funny picture. I won't describe it, but Tyrese was in a selfie with some people behind him, and it was the Knicks, the Cavs, and the Celtics. Made me laugh pretty good.
Yeah. The Pacers have had a tough route to get to where they are today. Playing the Bucks, the Cavs, and now the Knicks. No easy team, and they've just looked great in every series. So yeah.
And this is also after a year last year when they played pretty much the same teams that were injury. They were injury ridden.
Yeah.
But now they're doing the same thing with, not really injury ridden teams.
Yeah. There's nothing that those. I don't really look at it like that. You got to play and win against the team that's in front of you. You always got to do your job, and take care of business. But there's nothing really that those people that do, say that can say. It's basically the same teams they played last year, like you said, and they were at full health for the most part. So besides Dame Lillard going out early in the first series, but that's really it. There's no what they gonna say now? Call me JT.
What they gonna say now? Yeah, that's facts. Tyrese putting the world on notice. And his dad was back in the building last night.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's Pop's bet. If he's there for all 4, the first 4 finals games, they might sweep.
He's only allowed to go to the games when they're in Indiana.
Yeah, oh, really?
And he's only allowed to sit up in the suite.
They nerfed him.
They nerfed him, but not really because Tyrese plays better when, his dad's in the building.
His aura's still there, man.
His aura definitely played a part. But yeah, shout out to the NBA letting him back in the building after that.
For sure.
I think that was kind of stupid that they, banned him from games for, however long they did. But
they do have to discipline something because
he deserved it a little bit.
You can't let that happen.
Yeah,
you can't be like, okay, sorry, like it's okay,
Sorry.
but don't do it again.
I mean, he did step to Giannis and talk
No,
that,
yeah, I'm
talk
saying,
that
like,
stuff. So.
Yeah, the NBA had to do something about it.
Yeah.
And-
I mean, it may be okay with like the people who like are there, like that work at the Pacers. What is it, Gamebridge, Fieldhouse, whatever it's called. But the people that work there might, they might be used to that and let him do that. But the NBA still had to do something about it. I agree. But having him back, like we said, Tyrese is gonna cook. He's gonna cook. Pops is in the building. It's a different aura.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's like when your girl at the game.
Oh, facts.
I bet he won't ever be allowed to be back in the Milwaukee.
Oh
arena
yeah,
again.
he's banned from
He's
Milwaukee
banned from
for
Milwaukee.
life.
Nah,
Yeah,
he ain't
well,
going in there.
shout out to Alec in the chat, Beam City. Alec, give us your thoughts. Is Tyrese Haliburton top 10 in the NBA right now? I feel like you're going to have a good take on that. I know we probably all think he's top 10 right now. Recency bias definitely plays a part on this show. Obviously,
For sure.
I gotta admit something. I was wrong about Jalen Brunson. I love his game, but he is not top 3 in the league. I was far off. His plus minus the series is a -16 overall. So that means the Knicks have been better with him not on the floor. And it's just because he has the ball every second. He's dribbling the air out of the ball. He's trying to do everything for his team. And he doesn't really have another guard to help him, distribute the ball and make plays. He just kind of has to get Cat the ball and let him go to work. But yeah, Brunson is really, he's doing whatever he can, but it's just not enough. He's not top 3. Maybe he's top 5 guard.
Top 5 guard.
You've been saying that. I have to step back and admit when I was wrong. So respect to you guys for, staying on not the recency bias train like I was jumping on.
And it's going to be way harder for him too, because the Knicks just don't have, as good at, this shit's messing up, as good as depth as the Pacers. Like, Brunson, your starters, Brunson, Mitchell Robinson, Bridges, Josh Hart, and then that's really it. Like, those are the guys with above 10 points. Mitchell Robinson didn't even have above 10 points. He just had 6 and 7. But those are really it. You got Shamet with 3, Wright with 3, Deuce only had 3. Like, there's no bench production, and that's just tough for Thibodeau. And as much as we want to get on him, there's nobody else he could really play that's going to give him that good of production.
Yeah.
So it is tougher.
Josh didn't even start last night.
Yeah, Josh Hart off the bench.
Yeah. He still played 36 minutes, but
Campaign wasn't going to save him last night. He doesn't see the floor anymore.
Dylan Wright seeing some minutes too.
Yeah,
10th team, 10th season.
Yeah, that's crazy. Shout out to King's Legend for about
King's
half a year.
Legend.
Well, Alec in the chat, top 10 is crazy for Haliburton. Definitely not overrated though. Man, name me 10 players better than Haliburton right now, and we'll see what we think, because obviously the top 5 is tough to put him in the top 5, but in that top 10, I'm putting them there.
Top 10 is a little tough. It would take me a little bit to come up with the top 10 list.
Yeah,
but it is a little bit of a reach for Tyrese to be top 10, because there's a lot of good players out there that are like 1v1 better than him.
Yeah,
and then that can just like propel a team to the finals. Like, because yes, Tyrese is here with the Pacers 1 win away from the finals, but he's got an impressive team around him with Pascal. Obi Toppin's playing great off defense off the bench right now. And then Benedict Mathurin also off the bench right now, giving that fuel, like the energy that like not a lot of teams have. He's got an attitude that he plays with that gives it like a Draymond Green type of feel sometimes.
Yeah, I like that. He pushed DeAndre Hunter in the Cavs series, and then he wasn't really playing good. And after that, and now he finally had 20 points in 12 minutes. That was my ICU, actually, was Benedict Mathurin showing up last night with 20 points in only 12 minutes. That's a crazy stat.
Yep.
But yeah, the Pacers, I think it all starts with Haliburton, though, man. He elevates those guys to, propel their game.
Yeah.
And I think just how unselfish he is, and how I've noticed from the first game he played in the preseason in the NBA. I remember watching when he was, with the Kings, obviously. They were playing in Portland. I remember watching it with all my friends back then. And he didn't have a great game, but I just remember noticing he was making every right play, and he still plays the same way. He just wants to make every right play. He doesn't force anything. He knows when to take his own shots and to take the game into his own hands. So it's a true point guard. That's just what you describe him as.
I want
a true point guard.
Shout out Siakam too, because he's been really good this series and this playoffs, and that's really their number 2. And they took a swing for it. It didn't work at first, but then they surrounded him and Haliburton with a couple more pieces, and they're 1 win away from the finals.
Yeah. So shout out to the Pacers.
And what did garbage?
Garbage.
What did Celtics compare Neesmith to was garbage?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Traded for
they threw him in just as a throw-in in the trade, and now he's,
got my Wiz twist.
The third most important player on a team that's going to probably go to the finals, 1 win away. But yeah,
Definitely.
back to Haliburton. Last night, he became the first player in playoff history to have at least 30 points, 15 assists, 10 rebounds without a turnover, since turnovers were first tracked in 1977. So no one's
And
ever done it.
To
Long
really
time.
think about how crazy that is, I mean, it's so easy to like get a turnover
Yeah.
in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like guys hawking the passing lanes, you accidentally step out of bounds,
Yeah.
bam, you got a turnover.
Yeah.
Your homie passes it to you with 0.1 left on the shot clock, bam, you got a turnover, bro. So
Yeah.
to think about how easy it is to acquire a turnover, and he had 0 while having 12 assists or 15 and then 12 and 32, like that's just it's
And
like I said, I can't even do that in my career. So.
Yeah.
also looking back to that third and fourth quarter, those are probably like some of the sloppiest quarters I've seen in this playoffs.
Yeah.
It was turnover after turnover after turnover. None of them were Tyrese.
None were
Yeah.
None of them were
Tyrese.
Tyrese.
When he has the ball, good things were happening. And he was hitting a lot of those shots last night. Well, he came out aggressive, actually. He came out with 20 points in the first half, which we never see from Tyrese Haliburton. He was pulling up threes like FU threes. Like
Yeah.
he was like, oh, you're gonna go under the screen, Brunson? All right, I'm gonna pull up
Yeah.
from way deep and I'm gonna knock it down.
Well, didn't he do the Brunson
He did.
72
Yeah.
after
He
a
did the
deep one
Brunson.
on him? I was like,
Yeah. He was looking different last night. When Haliburton is that aggressive and looks to score early in the game, it opens up the game for everyone else on that team. And I think their record when Haliburton has like 25 or more is like almost undefeated. So when he's aggressive, they're just a different team and they're pretty much unbeatable.
and then still has double-digit rebounds and assists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got most of those rebounds like early in the game too. I feel like he had 9 rebounds in the first half.
I think he had 8 or 9 in the
Yeah,
first half.
and then he got 1 in the
And then
second
he
half.
got- Yeah.
But those
Hey, just
assists
needed
never
one.
stopped. Those assists never stopped.
I got 3.
Yeah, but Pascal with 30, like Dev said, got to shout him out. The spin move master. He's tough to guard, man. He's not an easy matchup for anyone, and he is doing his best on Towns, even though Towns is getting his numbers. But I think he's outplaying Towns in this series, and that no one really expected that.
Towns,
Yeah,
sorry.
No.
Towns is also playing a little banged up too.
Yeah, he is.
Like his
Most of the
hamstring
Knicks.
and- yeah. I mean, that's what you get for
Yeah.
playing him 40 minutes.
we see it every year.
Yeah.
Add some depth.
Yeah.
After in the offseason, while y'all in Cancun, be like, he's good. He's good. Some guys you could play off the bench.
Yeah, that you actually trust.
Yeah.
And that's what the Pacers have, man. They play a deep rotation. Even like TJ McConnell off the bench is just one of my favorite players in the entire NBA. I'd pay a lot of money to see him in Sacramento. TJ McConnell is
I like
one of the
TJ
best
McConnell.
backup point guards in the entire NBA. They have guys like Ben Shepherd out there who, only had 2 points, but his impact on the game was way more than that. He's guarding Brunson very well, making the right plays. Obi Toppin off the bench too. They just have a ton of guys that they can trust.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Rick Carlisle is also just a better coach than Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I definitely agree with that. Rick Carlisle is showing all his cards, and if they make it to the finals, it's going to be a fun matchup between the Pacers and most likely the Thunder.
Yeah. Speaking of the coaches, both coaches who are went away from the finals, both started in the G League and worked their way up, and now they're this close.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So the G League, I think there's a ton of players that are on both teams that have also played in the G League. Especially on the Thunder.
Mathurin,
I think a lot of guys.
Neesmith played there.
Yeah.
Nemhard played there.
Damn, Nemhard.
Yeah.
Nemhard is also one of my favorite players in the league. He
I'm
might
pretty
be
sure he
like
did.
top 10 of my
Oh,
favorite
no, he
players.
played in Florida, and then I think he got drafted straight
Yeah.
to the league.
Nemhard, but if I know we're jumping the gun a little bit, but if it's Pacers Thunder finals, Andrew Nemhard is Canadian and he plays on the national team with Shai, and their games have a ton of similarities.
Don't forget Mathurin. Mathurin's also Canadian.
Oh, I don't think he played on the Canadian team though, like last summer.
Not
That's what I was
recently,
talking
but
about.
okay. Yeah,
but he probably has before that. So that's crazy.
He knows all this.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Nemhard, he does all Shai's moves. They play the same, but Nemhard is probably like 4 inches shorter. But Nemhard plays good defense, so that could be a good matchup. Shai might be a little too big for him, but I think Nemhard can do a good job on that. But
yeah, definitely should it doesn't hurt to at least try that, because I mean they got multiple things that they can do, once they get there, which we're just assuming at this point, but they're definitely gonna get there.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna just talk about like the Canadian team, like growing up a little bit more, because Benedict's gonna be a good addition to that Canadian team.
Yeah,
a lot of other teams besides the U.S. are going to be looking pretty good. And when's the next one? 28?
Yeah, 28. Steph and LeBron going to be coaching on the sideline.
No, they better be in the game, bro.
We might need them. We might actually need
Michael
them.
Phelps was doing this till he was like 45, bro. Come on.
I think Alec might give us 10 players better than Hallie right now and might have a little debate. But we'll go on to the Knicks side. Brunson had 31, 11 of 12 from the free throw line. So, he was getting called a flopper from the crowd all game. Pat McAfee was hyping the crowd up before the game. I don't know if you guys saw that. He hit Rick Carlisle in the arm. That was pretty funny. But yeah, Brunson with 31 points, but he's a minus 26 overall in this series. It looks like when they have McBride out there and no Brunson and just, kind of let Cat run the show, they play a lot better. And I hate to see that because of someone who's riding so hard for Brunson in, this whole playoff so far. It's tough to see.
Well, that one game, the game they won, Cat had a really good game too. So it's like, maybe it's a sign.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to say because Brunson, the argument is that he needs to, get rid of the ball more and let other guys create.
A lot of people saying that.
But you have guys like Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, and OG Anunoby who are all almost like similar players. Like Mikal and OG are very similar to where they don't really want to create their own shot. Like Mikal can hit that little fadeaway mid-range if he needed, or OG can hit a catch and shoot three, or maybe even a step back. But none of those guys are really creating looks for other guys.
Yeah.
Like Brunson's the only one on the team. They were kind of hoping DeLon Wright off the bench could do that, but he's not really doing that. He played good defense last night, but he had that double dribble that really cost him. And that led to the Pacers' huge run in the second quarter. But yeah, no one else on the Knicks can really give Brunson a rest. McBride also is someone who they rely on for that, but he's more of like a straight scorer. When he gets the ball, he's trying to get it up every time.
This kind of shows that, I know we're past the whole trio trying to win a championship. This is kind of reminiscence of that. They're trying to go for a big three to win everything. They don't have anybody to come off the bench and do anything.
They need Dante. They need Dante back.
Yep.
I think Dante would be the perfect fit on this team, and I know they had to get rid of him, but don't be surprised if he goes back to New York somehow.
I think they should have just ran it back with the same squad as last year.
And I don't know, because getting Towns was definitely a good move.
I like the Cat move.
Like Randall wasn't going to propel them to even the conference finals, probably. I
think he would have had a better year than last year. And
Randall?
Yeah. Because, he was still averaging 24 points a game last year with the Knicks.
And, they gave up 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges.
Their whole future for that one thing. And Mikal's not even averaging that much.
Yeah, he's averaging 13. And, shout out to James in our group chat yesterday, texted us and said, this is the best the Knicks are going to get.
That's what I've been
they spent all their money. They've traded all their picks. There's not really room for them to improve. No. And I say you go get a guy like DiVincenzo, but how? He's getting paid a good contract and you're already paying your 4 guys a ton of money. Yeah. There's no way unless you trade one.
That's crazy. They really gave up 5 first.
They gave up so much.
I
5 first.
We were all kind of really might have been overrating him because he was on the Nets, going off every night.
Averaging 23.
We even wanted him. I was like, go get Mikal Bridges by trade. Like last year, I was like, do it right now, bro. I'll take him right now.
Yeah.
So I think that's just tough because they went out and did it, and they took such a big swing with 5 first-round picks. Might have been able to get it done with maybe just a couple, but that's just they handicapped them. They did it to themselves.
Yeah. Right now, the Nets are the perfect place to go get your stock up.
Literally.
Go play there, get your points up from 15 to 25.
Yeah.
And then you get a big bag after, and then you go back down to 12 points.
Yeah.
That's not a bad take because, the Nets have a lot of open, they don't have anyone that's really going to go get a bucket.
Hey, bro, go do what you want. Who's even the coach?
Jordy.
Well, it'll get
go
better.
Coach.
It'll get better now, but
Mikal
the last
also,
couple years,
That's a good point. Alex says Mikal is also the reason they beat Boston. He had those 2 steals at the end of the game in game 1 and game 2. So shout out to Mikal. But the offense is not there right now.
He's a good player.
They need more playmaking.
He fits in with the puzzle.
Yeah.
He's just not that.
Not for 5 first-round picks,
Yeah.
though. That's giving up a lot.
No.
Let's see what else in the chat. Bro out there every night, stop the Bridges hate. Hey, that's facts. He's never missed a game in his career. 82 games. He hasn't missed a game in his whole career.
Last game he played 2 minutes.
Yeah. In one game.
Diego, why are you riding for him now?
But is that worth 5 first-round picks, though, if he's only going to give you 13 points and a big game where you need more? Last night he had 17. Can't hate too much.
Yeah.
It's not his fault.
I'm not saying it's a terrible move, but for what they spent, I wouldn't. I'm not saying I wouldn't want him, but for 5 first, maybe 1 or 2, and I guess that's easy to say now, hindsight's 2020, but I wouldn't do that.
All I'm saying is with Mikal, Josh Hart, and OG Anunoby, those 3 guys are too similar to have out there. So then it just leaves Brunson and Cat
Yeah.
creating every shot.
I get that. Yeah,
You
I
need
agree
one
with
more
that.
guy. Like the Pacers have Nemhard, who takes a little bit of pressure off Hallie when he's not having it going. And like they have TJ McConnell off the bench who's also doing that. And they play those guys together. So it's not always relying on the same guy.
Yeah.
And it's so predictable. The Knicks are just so predictable. It's Brunson, slow it down every time. Maybe Cat get a screen. Maybe Mikal come off a flare screen or something. But it's never anything like fast or fun to watch.
Because there's 7 guys who play every night.
Yeah.
And it's the same 7 guys who played every night in the regular season. So we know this.
Yeah.
We've seen this.
Yeah, I blame this series on Tibbs.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Nets might be nice in 2032.
The Nets?
The Nets.
I mean,
They have-
all those
They
draft
have the
picks, they're going to
2020
get someone.
They have this 2025, like they have their first round pick, 2027 first round pick, 2029 first round pick, 2031 first round pick,
And they'll probably
then-
get more for Cam Johnson. I
and
know
then
we've
an
been saying
unprotected
that.
pick swap in 2028.
It's a lot of picks coming their way.
Hey, they're trying to build up like the Thunder.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That might be the model nowadays.
Yeah,
They did just get a new like front office and whole
Mhm.
organization,
Yeah.
and everything after that sale. So
yeah.
And
not
I mean,
surprised.
and I feel like they're going to give Jordy some time too. I mean, they sucked last year, and they're keeping him obviously. So they might be good in a few years. You might be good call there.
and
Good call.
6 years.
Yeah. I mean, Jordy is definitely known as a great coach. I think he'll stay there for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else on the Pacers Knicks last night? It was a close game. It was 130 to 121. Knicks came back. They were down 20.
Yeah, I'm glad these games are like fun.
Yeah.
At least like we've seen. I mean, all 4 games so far in the other series have been blowouts.
Yeah.
3 straight blowouts from the Thunder, and then, dude, I can't believe we were sitting at the house on Saturday looking over, and the Timberwolves were up 40 at one point.
Yeah.
Like that was crazy.
That was crazy.
So, but at least these are like the Pacers come back. They came back. They did it a couple times.
Yeah.
The Knicks have done it. They won a game. So yeah, at least these are fun games to
Mhm.
watch.
Yeah, I think for me, the difference is that the Pacers play just way faster. And we knew that coming into the series is that's what they want to do is they want to outpace you, no pun intended. But that's
Good one.
just what they're doing. It's like the Knicks always seem like they're down 8 or, Mikal Bridges will hit a 3 and they're still down 7.
Yeah.
It's like they can never really catch up because the Pacers just get more shot attempts. And then you have a guy like Haliburton running the show with 0 turnovers.
Well,
Yep.
And then also the Knicks started running the same play like at
Yeah.
the end of the game. So then like I think Obi intercepted one of the passes, and then I think it was Mathurin that intercepted another pass
Yeah.
on the same play. They just ran it on the opposite side of the court. And
Predictable.
it just I don't know when
Yeah.
they get the same they have like a bunch of different lineups to run, and they have like the top like different rosters like
Mhm.
on the starting court. But at some point they're just running the same plays over and over and over again. There's no it's consistency, but it's bad consistency.
Exactly.
So,
If you're doing the same thing over and over again and you're failing, then you're going insane.
Yeah.
Too much good stuff, not good stuff.
Yeah. Well, the difference between these two teams to me is that the Pacers, they play with that grit. They play with that intensity. They play hard as they can. They play fast. They full court press you every single time. And that's what I felt like the Knicks did last year and early in this playoffs, like against Boston. That's what the Knicks kind of made their name on was, a Tom Thibodeau-led team is usually a team that puts their hard hat on and plays hard all game. And a guy like Josh Hart fits perfectly into that. But now I feel like the Knicks have gotten a little too, like sexy. Like they try and play like too cute. Like they're not like playing hard like they were last year. They're not full court pressing you. Josh Hart's not really making a huge impact like he was last year or in the early series. And the
I kind of
Pacers,
agree with that.
yeah, the Pacers have kind of taken over that role
Yeah.
as the hard fighting team.
Yeah.
And the Knicks are kind of not really doing that. And that's not usually what we see from a Tibbs-led team. But the Knicks, I don't know, something needs to change with them. Maybe Brunson next game takes it into his own hands and says, hey, you guys, there's a lot of possessions where Brunson is like giving it up and kind of letting guys try and make something happen, and it never works. Like unless Cat is shooting a crazy shot and hitting an and one floater or something, nothing good's going to come of that. And I think Brunson next game, I think Brunson next game has to come in and, not listen to us or the haters or any doubters saying that the Knicks need someone else to, create some offense. I think Brunson needs to walk it down every time and say, I'm not passing.
Drop
I'm
50
getting a bucket.
and see what happens.
Brunson can post up anyone. Brunson can post up like
he's thick.
Miles
his,
Turner.
mo- his movement is
His
pretty,
footwork
his footwork
is
nuts.
impeccable.
Yeah.
It is different. And there was a play the other game where he got Nemhard jumping on a jump stop, pump fake in the post, and then leaned in, and it was Brunson's footwork is crazy.
Looking at him, for some reason, he reminds me of Zion, bro. Like,
lefty,
smaller,
lefty.
like just a body
Yeah.
build, but very smaller. and just the way he like uses his body and
Yeah.
runs around, like it just reminds me of a way bigger person.
Yeah. He should be 6'7". If Brunson plays like he's 6'7",
Yeah.
he really does.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's
If
just
only-
it
if only,
seems so much pause bigger.
And I feel like he always is in rhythm too. Brunson's always in rhythm.
Yeah,
Even if he's missing shots, he
it's the
still has a
lefty,
rhythm.
bro. It's smooth.
Yeah,
it's
it's
always
always-
smooth.
Yeah, it's
I was
lefty.
still like, his plus minus has been terrible.
Yeah, what do we
this
think of
whole
that?
series? But like, dude sat out for like the first 6 minutes of the
He's
the
been
whole half
sitting.
of the fourth quarter,
Mhm.
and they didn't look good at all during
Yeah.
the fourth quarter. Even with him off the court,
Yeah.
they didn't look good.
Landry Shamet couldn't save him tonight. he
One-
did. He did in game 3.
Yeah, game
Yeah.
3. But I mean, it just I don't know. They put so much pride on Brunson and like him, the clutch player of the year,
Yeah.
going off in the third quarter. And then they're just like, all right, we're going to put you in the backseat.
Yeah.
And then even when he was on the court in the fourth quarter, they're like, all right, Mikal, go run in the corner. We're going to give you this and then
Yeah.
do a fadeaway.
Yeah.
Like
Fade away in the corner is never a good shot.
With
6
Must
minutes
have-
left
Yeah.
on the
KD and 2K16.
Facts. That was unguardable. That's ball knowledge right there. But yeah, before we move on, game 3 of this series is the one the Knicks won. And that was the game they came back from 20. They weren't down 20 last night. That was my mistake. But Cat had 20 points in the fourth quarter in that game. And that was really the only reason that the Knicks won that game was because of Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, Cat went
Brunson
crazy.
had a horrible game. Everyone else didn't really show up. Landry Shamet was a +12 and DeLon Wright was a +2. So those guys made an impact off the bench, but it didn't happen last night.
How are they? But they still only have
Result.
3 and 2 though.
Yeah,
They're
they
just-
only have 3 and 2.
Yeah,
They're
they
never
got
gonna.
no bench,
they're,
bro.
just
No
in
bench.
they're in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess we can move on to the Thunder series. They play
Ooh.
tonight,
This-
Game 5.
This series sucks.
This
man.
series does
Sucks.
suck. This series
Horrible.
sucks. I was expecting a lot better series. Last game was the best game we've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The final score doesn't really tell the
Still
whole
Because a different
story.
team
It
won.
still
Yeah.
sucks. Like,
It
I
doesn't
don't know.
really tell the full story because this game was not that close.
Yeah.
It was only at the end when they just kept fouling and giving them free throws, and the Timberwolves made it look closer than it really was. Shai with 40 points though, 9 rebounds, 10 assists. J-Dub 34, Chet with 21. The big 3, man, they're cooking. They want a ring.
Yeah.
They want a ring. They're messing up the entire NBA.
It's I mean, shout out my Gomer, my grandma. She's from Oklahoma.
I hate shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh wow.
But so she asked me the other day. She was just like, "Hi, do you have a team that you're rooting for in
Mhm.
this?" And I was like, "Oh, damn, I forgot that she's from
Yeah.
there."
So she's rooting for
So
the Thunder.
she was just like, "I hope you say the Thunder,"
Oh.
and I was like,
I would have been like,
Pacers.
Pacer up. P-Town.
Pacers.
But no, yeah, I was just like, damn, that makes me like feel bad if I'm gonna just be rooting against her the whole time.
Yeah.
Feel bad after. In the moment, feel
I
good.
don't know. It also makes me feel bad because I was such a big Thunder fan.
You were.
Like, I don't know,
Shout out Russ.
7 years ago,
You
8
were.
years ago.
Yeah.
Shout out Russ.
That was your team.
That was my team. You
Um,
down with OKC?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know me.
This this big 3 is definitely, you can compare them to KD, Russ, and Harden, but I mean, those guys were more, I don't know, I feel like they got more love than this big 3. I don't know why.
Yeah,
From
but
other like
100%.
Yeah.
from other people. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
I don't know why though. I mean, I guess the foul baiting is a factor.
Yeah.
The media is
Yeah.
way different from
Way different now.
The NBA media has
Yeah, it's-
exploded.
If you're
and-
not LA, Gold State, or New York, nobody's gonna talk
and then,
about you.
like,
Damn.
even non-NBA fans like know about it and stuff. That's how big media is nowadays. Like it's kind of unfair to some of these players because in the future they're gonna have a tainted image just by this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they love it there in Oklahoma. The fans
yeah.
always show out
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything. But with this series, man, it's just really showing me that the Thunder are just flat out better than the Timberwolves on every aspect of the game. They're younger, they're faster, they move the ball better. They just on every aspect of the game, they're just flat out better.
There's no question that they're the best team in the West.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, we had to see it to believe it once the playoffs
Yeah.
started, but now we're seeing it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it, and I don't know how anybody gets better than them next year by
Yeah.
with what they're gonna do in the offseason.
That's
So,
why it's so scary
Yeah.
because all those guys are so young and they're still most of them are on rookie contracts, so they won't have to pay them for a while.
don't have to do the CBA thing.
They have 20 first-round picks in the next 3 years or whatever it is, which is unfair.
So even when these guys that they have get too expensive, they're like, all right, so we can't pay you. But
Yeah.
we're just gonna draft
got
another
first
guy.
round
We're gonna,
picks.
yeah. I'm scared that the Thunder dynasty is starting this year.
Who is
I'm
it?
scared.
Sam Presti?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he the
Sam
GM? Is he
Presti.
the greatest GM of all time?
He hasn't won a ring yet, but after this ring,
after the next 4 years, we'll tell.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's getting scary.
Yeah.
And I mean, they paid a guy like Hartenstein, but it's only like a 2-year deal. They have a guy like Caruso who's on like a 1-year deal. So, I mean, they have a lot of room to work with, and that's just great general managing. Like you said, Sam Presti might be the GOAT.
He might be the GOAT.
He might be the
Without
GOAT.
a ring, he might be the GOAT.
He might be the GOAT already. Also, I got to give some respect to J-Dub, 34 points, and I've been hating on him all playoffs, saying he's not the number 2 on a championship team. Got to take that back. I got to say I was wrong there. J-Dub is showing me everything. And I thought he only played good at home. This game was in Minnesota, and he played great with 34 points.
Yeah.
So I just can't hate on him anymore, man. He's too good.
Due for a big contract because he's entering his 4th year, which is the end of his rookie contract, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to be in for a extension.
Yeah, and it's not that scary for Thunder like fans because they can pay their guys the most money because that's how it works when you have a player.
Yep.
You can pay them the most money, so
Bird
they're going to
rights,
want to
is that what
stay.
they call
Yeah. We got an Indian 5 in the chat. I
You
hope
right,
so.
Ron,
I
you
agree.
right.
I would love to see that, but that Thunder team, the Thunder and the Pacers
Scary, dude.
play super similar.
Yeah.
They both want to play
It's gonna be
fast.
so fun.
They both play very fast, and they're both young. They're both athletic. They, full court press you a lot of the time. But the Thunder are kind of just the Pacers on steroids.
Let me
if you
do
think
the
about
first
it.
one of the show. It's going to be like that Kings-Clippers game a couple years ago. The 170, the 175, 176
I
game.
don't
That's
know.
going to be the whole series going to be like that.
I don't know because the defense
Or
on both
defense.
teams are
Like,
great.
Yeah, maybe not as high scoring every time, but
Yeah.
just as the entertainment value.
Mhm.
We also can't.
I agree.
We can't say that it's over, like because it's 3-1 right
Hey,
now.
3-1.
3-1.
13 teams have come back.
I'm just saying.
13?
Yeah. 13 teams have
13
come back
teams.
from 3-1. We're going to see in a little bit how many of those teams you guys can
I
name.
think I can go back to like.
There's a lot from 2000
I think
and up.
I can go to like 06.
Okay.
Maybe
we'll get into that.
You know ball.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
I think just because I feel like I saw this like a while
Well,
ago.
I know you guys know at least 2.
I know
of
like
them.
4.
Yeah, you
I know
know-
4. off
okay.
the top
I
of
know
my
I
head.
know one.
Okay. Well, Anthony Edwards in this game had 16 points, 5 of 13 from the field, and 1 of 7 from 3. This was the game that the Timberwolves needed, man. Everyone else stepped up. Nickeil Alexander-Walker had 23. Dante had 21. McDaniels 22. But their stars didn't show up, and that's what happens. It's one night your role players show up and your stars don't, or it's your stars show up and your role players don't, and that's just what a team that's not going to make the finals does.
I glazed Ant too hard
Yeah.
before the series started.
Dude has a little bit too much of an ego right now. Like,
I mean, that's what got him there, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's just like you can't get that ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
He's having
Like,
a
you're
Jimmy
still-
Butler
He only
series.
took 13 shots. That's not enough.
Not
for me.
enough.
It's not enough.
And then also, the only reason why I say has too much of an ego is just because his interview the other day where he said he wasn't struggling. Dude, you were struggling. Like you can
Gotta
say
admit that.
you could say you got to your shots. You can say you like made the right
Nah.
plays, but you didn't score enough points for your team to win.
Yeah.
Like you're struggling. You're the star player on the
Mhm.
team, supposed to score 25 points a game.
Yeah.
Like get your team involved a little bit more.
Yeah.
Then he also had a few turnovers too. So I mean,
He's definitely been turning the ball over.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Wow.
And that's tough to not do against the Thunder team. That's why we keep jumping to it. But if the Thunder and the Pacers play, that's going to be fun to watch because the Thunder want to force turnovers and the Pacers don't turn the ball over. So that could be a fun matchup.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love Ant too. Like I love his play style and everything.
Yeah.
Like his talking trash and everything is cool. But I mean, dude needs to take it back a little bit and remember that he's still super young and he's still got to.
Yeah.
He's going to be running the league soon at some point.
This is a tough series for him, though, because, we've said it all year. The Thunder are the best team at not letting your star player beat you and
Mhm.
forcing other guys to beat you. And, I mean, that's what happened in this game. They let Nickeil Alexander-Walker, McDaniels, and Dante shoot wide-open corner threes all game, and they were making them. But Anthony Edwards only giving you 16 points is not going to be enough when Shai's out here dropping 40 and J-Dub has 34. They're going to live with the role players beating you, and it usually doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So that's the Thunder's game plan is let the role players beat you, and it's working.
And then I also got to talk crap about Rudy again.
Gobert, yeah.
Yeah. So
Horrible.
regular season his stats.
Gobert.
I mean,
Gobert.
12 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks a game. Like you expect a double-double and a few
Yep.
blocks from
Mhm.
him. And then postseason playoffs or
Buns.
postseason this year, dropped down to 8 points, 9 rebounds, 1 block. Not a playoff player at all. Besides the series last series,
The one game against the Lakers.
and he hasn't had
Buns.
a 10 rebound game this whole series.
No way.
Not one 10 rebound game.
He's 7'3".
Also, I don't think he's had 10 points in a game this series. I don't think.
Oh, we had 13 last game, but that was his first game.
His first one.
Over double digits.
He's buns.
He's the worst offensive player of all time. That's for sure. And the defense is very overrated in my opinion. Chet is just going to work on him.
Yeah.
There were so many times in that last game that Chet just had a wide open lane, dunking it to the hoop, and that's Gobert's job. It's to protect the rim. And there's so many times where the Thunder get an offensive rebound, and I see Rudy just looking at the ball, not even having his hands up trying to rebound the ball.
I think he's just too scared to foul, just because
the
Thunder get all the fouls.
Soft,
he just doesn't.
He's soft.
Yeah,
he's soft as Charmin. Soft as Charmin. He could never play with Kobe.
Draymond did him dirty.
Yeah, he can never play with a guy like Kobe.
Wave the white flag.
And I know Anthony Edwards is getting on him.
I know he knows how to wave the white flag.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony Edwards is going to the front office after the series and telling him, get him out of here.
Yeah.
Get him out.
They might. But they're so good in the regular season, though. Rudy's always a great regular season player.
Yeah.
He's going to be on all defensive team every year.
Going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Just because the 4 defensive player of the years. But if you can't catch the ball on offense or protect the rim a little in the playoffs, it's not going to help your team win a championship.
It's really uncoordinated. Too.
It's so uncoordinated. Terrence Shannon with 9 points in 8 minutes.
Angel Reese, dare I say?
That's a good comp, actually. Good comp.
Also, Julius Randle disappearing.
Yeah, Julius Randle went 1 for 7. He's had a couple bad games this series. They need him to average 25, and he's not doing it. He was doing it the first 2 series.
Dude had a career playoff series against the Lakers.
Yeah.
So
and the Warriors.
Or the Warriors, I mean.
Both. He was going off.
Yeah, he's been good up until this series.
Yeah.
And we've been eating our words. We've been saying it But it just fell off, and they're going to need that back. If I'm still saying the 3-1 comeback not happening, but if they want to get as close as they can, they're going to need that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who would we rather have, Julius Randle or Pascal Siakam? Who's better?
Siakam.
Yeah.
Pascal.
I'd say Pascal too.
Yeah.
It's tough because Randle, when he's on, he's on.
Yeah.
When he's on, he's unguardable.
He's kind of like he can't miss a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
When
he's hot, but Pascal's more consistent. He's going to get you 20 to 25 a night, which is what you need. Randle has nights where he is 1 for 7 from the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We got a thing in the chat. I've never known Gobert to be soft. Well, then you must not have been watching a lot of Timberwolves ball because he is one of the softest players in the league.
Pretty soft.
Yeah. And he's so tall and just uncoordinated. There's so much more he could do on the floor. And there's some plays where, he gets an open lane and he throws it down. And I'm like, okay, Rudy, I need to see that more. And then he doesn't do it.
He doesn't do it for like another 5 games, 6 games.
He has all the blessed abilities to be great on offense, and he doesn't do it. But yeah, so in game 3 of the series, it was 143 to 101. That was a crazy blowout by the Timberwolves, the one game they got. The Thunder just didn't come to play in that one. Shai only had 14 points. You're not going to get that every night. So
it's a gentleman's sweep.
Yeah, they wanted to give him one at home and probably come back to probably go back to OKC and win that in 5.
Yeah.
They play tonight, so I'm going OKC tonight. Sadly,
I think
it's over.
Yeah, it's over. It's over. I have more faith in the Knicks getting a game than the Timberwolves getting a game.
It's not ridiculous to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going to play in New York when they got their back against the wall, like it's going to be loud in there.
Yeah.
If I was a Pacers fan,
Spider-Man's going to be there.
If I was a Pacers fan and I had tickets to that game, I would sell my tickets.
The Pacers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would not want to step in that arena with
I'd
the Pacers
go
jersey.
and get trash thrown at me and then get invited to the finals game and then get a signed jersey from Tyrese, go on the Pat McAfee show.
That'd be pretty cool.
I wouldn't take that risk, man.
Worth it.
There's too many crazy people out there.
Oh, yeah, true.
No,
Pacers fans are also crazy, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw what happened.
Yeah, that was actually insane.
Someone actually got arrested, a Pacers fan, the other day. Not going to say why, but he did some bad things.
I mean, and apparently...
No,
it was the whole thing was stupid.
We don't need to talk about
that.
Crazy.
The Fever fans are crazy too.
Caitlin Clark is out for 2 weeks, though.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
The goat, my goat.
Yeah, she'll be back.
She's better than Steph.
Yeah. The what?
Yeah. No, you said Flip that.
No. I actually saw something that said Tyrese is going to be the Steph of the Eastern Conference, and I kind of like that. That's kind of a cool comparison. And people are saying this Pacers team, that he can be the best point guard in the Eastern
Yeah.
Conference and lead the Pacers to multiple championships. Maybe.
Who else they got out there? Cade.
Yeah, Cade.
I mean,
That's
it's gonna be
tough.
he's gonna be top 2 in the East for a while for sure.
We got I love Caitlin in the chat. Facts. That's the GOAT already.
Hell yeah.
Already second all time in triple doubles in 30 games in her career is nuts.
Way better than Steph.
All right. Well, I think we should jump into Luke's lock of the week.
Luke's lock of the week.
Luke's lock of the week.
I need a little bit of a little. For the first time in Luke's Lock of the Week history, we have our first back-to-back winner, Tyrese Haliburton.
Damn.
Tyrese Haliburton getting it back-to-back
Damn.
right now.
Much deserved.
Pause. First ever back-to-back Luke's Lock of the Week player. 24.5 points a game so far this series. 7 rebounds, 11 assists. Guess how many steals?
3.
2.5.
2.
Close
So
enough.
pretty much 3.
Yeah. But man is bringing out his inner Reggie Miller. Beautiful to see. I know my mom loves it.
Hey, I know you said on Saturday he might be better, and then Ron felt some type of way about it. But hey, they might be 1 and 2
in the future. I think Tyrese will eclipse him as the best Pacers player of all time.
I think he's on that path. I think last night he broke the Pacers record for triple doubles in playoffs.
I mean, even though it was only 2.
He's already up there in
triple doubles weren't as around at that point. But I will say, as a Kings fan, like I said it before, great to see him balling out. But if he brings a ring to Indiana, I don't know how I'm gonna feel. I don't think I'll buy a ticket to a Kings game next season if he wins this year.
It hurts, man.
I was already trying not to do that, but I'm not gonna be mad. I've gotten over it. That's why I'm going so hard for him right now. Because I want to see it happen.
But
I'm not gonna be like sad. I'm not gonna be like, we could have had that. Because we could have, but we're the Kings, so we don't get that.
Yeah.
League probably told us to trade Tyrese. They were like, "Hey, don't trade Fox, trade Tyrese."
Yeah.
I think Vivek. No. But also, I need to stop seeing these posts on Instagram about.
I knew you were going to say that.
The Kings,
it's every day now.
Every day, there's
what?
Look at what the Kings had back in 2020.
Oh yeah.
And then they post a picture of Zach and DeMar.
Matt George on Twitter,
that,
he was hecking mad because he was like, SportsCenter hasn't posted the Kings in a year and a half. And the first thing they did was the Tyrese, the Hallie and Fox thing.
Yeah.
Only time that ESPN will ever post the Kings is to bash on them. So, that's tough.
Shout out Tyrese.
Yeah, shout out Tyrese, man.
Nice.
I love to see him doing great things. Nice. Always wonder if him and Sabonis would be doing this in SAC right now.
100%.
Guess we'll never know.
I guess we'll never
We'll never know.
Well, before we move on, I had a Kings. I saw something about the Kings that talked about the DeMar trade. A lot of, Miami Heat are the favorite to get him right now.
Seen that.
I've been saying it. Duncan Robinson and Jaime Jaquez. I'm down. And I was thinking about it last night. Randomly last night, I was thinking about it because I saw the post. I've been saying this trade for months since I did it on 2K and the salaries worked out. And
Tyler Hero?
No, it's Duncan Robinson and Jaime Jaquez for
okay.
DeMar. And I think that helps us in both ways. No pick, probably. No pick, sadly. Maybe a second round.
That's okay.
But Duncan Robinson and Sabonis.
I don't want it.
Can you imagine the 2-man game between Duncan Robinson and Sabonis? That's Kevin Huerter on
we're
steroids.
Keeping Sabonis.
Is it Kevin Huerter on steroids?
Yes, Duncan Robinson is way better shooter than Huerter.
Bro, we were hyping up Kevin Huerter so much when we traded a first-round pick for him. And Bogdan, who I'd much rather have.
He was nice. He wasn't first, second.
He was, dude, I don't know. Duncan Robinson, I see, is just a copy and paste of Kevin Huerter.
But better.
I don't agree with that.
And is consistent from 3. And he's better.
This is what we always say.
In the handoffs, that's his game, dude. That is his game.
This is what we always said. We said this last season. We said
with
Huerter, Keegan, everybody. We said the handoff, 40%, 45%. I remember
they didn't even do that as much.
Yeah.
Like
they changed up the whole game, the only game that they were good at the season before.
The start of the year, Mike Brown didn't want to do that anymore. So they weren't even doing it. And then they barely even got back to it when Doug Christie was coaching. And they just we were wrong. I think Robinson's better than Huerter, though.
He is.
And then
he is.
I mean, he's probably
the handoffs with Sabonis and Duncan Robinson. I was dreaming.
I don't even care about the players. I think it's a good trade to get the money off and to get 2 players who are prototypes that we want and have been asking for, and that the new GM came in and says he wants to bring in players like that. like not even thinking about who they are, like, and just shedding that money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay,
I'm with
well,
it.
Duncan Robinson
I'd
isn't
rather-
really the type of player that, he's describing that he wants. He wants guys that are really good at defense and all
Well,
this stuff.
yeah,
Duncan's not
but
that.
just the
But Jaime Jaquez
setup.
is.
Jaime Jaquez is. I
Jaime
like
Jaquez is that type of player.
I'd do it just for him.
Yeah,
So I disagreed with the MPJ trade
yeah.
last week. I'm more on that boat with
Then
this.
I
this
still
trade,
like that
because
one too.
first of all, we've
The
always
handoffs?
traded for a consistent shooter. We've always traded for someone who's really good at shooting. Trade for someone who's not consistent and open up the scoring for Zach LaVine
Bro,
and
shut up.
Sabonis right now.
Okay.
And then we put
Okay.
MPJ in the corner. We need that defense. We get rid of DeMar
Yeah.
and his crappy defense.
Yeah.
Pick up MPJ. Focus the scoring between Zach and Sabonis.
I mean, Jaquez could do the same thing.
You
Just
still need a point
play
guard.
defense. He wouldn't even start though. It would.
yeah, we still need a point guard.
We still need a
MPJ
point guard.
would start.
We got a Pacer fan in the chat. It looks like you guys in Indy. No, we're in Sacramento, but we're repping the Pacers because,
What's good? Yeah.
Halliburton's the GOAT.
Yeah, I'm a
Um,
Pacer fan. I've been
yeah.
a Pacer fan for
He's been.
a while.
But we're repping the Kings. Wish Halliburton was still in Sac, but
Yeah.
you guys are lucky out there in Indy. But yeah, thanks for tuning into the show. Go subscribe. But yeah, I was dreaming about the Duncan Robinson Sabonis picking or handoffs last night. That's all I wanted.
You were
to say.
dreaming about
I was
it?
dreaming about it.
Dreaming about it.
It made me smile before going to bed.
You were wait, so you didn't wake up and say like, "Oh, I had a dream about
No,
it."
I saw the post before I went to bed, and I was thinking about it while trying to go to bed. And I was thinking about the
No.
handoffs between Duncan Robinson and Sabonis,
You know they
and
say
it got me very happy.
You're
when you
so
think about
adorable,
something
Tyler.
before you go to bed, you dream about it.
Hey, I'm manifesting it. Oh yeah, I love Benedict
Oh, yeah.
Mathurin.
Big fan.
Yeah, big fan. I know he's inconsistent. Rick Carlisle doesn't really trust him enough, but last night he hit 20 points in 12 minutes. He's probably going to get a lot more.
And I was
minutes.
hyping up his attitude, man.
Yeah.
I love his
Yeah.
attitude
Yeah.
coming off the bench.
He doesn't play.
No,
Like he doesn't play no games. That's all.
No. I was like,
he
what?
barely plays, which is on Rick Carlisle.
Yeah.
But he doesn't mess around out there.
No,
he
yeah,
talks
he's-
his mess.
Exactly.
But yeah, love Benedict Mathurin.
I love
think
the whole team. Right?
Yeah.
I'm just a big
Yeah.
fan of the whole
Mm.
team.
That's what else I was going to say about Duncan and Jaime Jaquez coming over. They can bring the Miami Heat culture to Sacramento.
culture.
Please, we need it. Someone. Del Christie needs to go to those two guys and say, hey, what'd you guys do in Miami? Because we need some of that culture here in Sacramento.
I don't know.
Miami Heat culture is a real thing.
I don't know what that
Hey, I mean,
means.
the
They have to
Giants.
stay in shape all year. They have to get their body fat under a certain thing all year to play in Miami, or you get fined.
The Giants just paid the most money they ever paid to somebody to be a glorified culture shifter. So
Who was that, Adamas?
yeah.
Yeah.
So far, yeah. But so I'm down for
No.
that. I'm down for that.
No, we are not Miami Heat fans. We are Sacramento Kings fans.
Yeah. You probably can't
We
tell.
want Miami Heat culture here in Sacramento because things need to change. in
Yeah, we
Sac.
suck.
Yeah, we suck. But yeah, I guess we should preview the finals matchup. I mean, we know it's probably going to be these two teams, but I wanted to ask you guys if you think there's any chance of a 3-1 comeback. 4% of teams have come back from 3-1.
Nah.
No.
Oh, he's roasting the Kings now. Oh,
Damn.
you guys
We
ain't
know,
ever
bruh.
seen a chip. Nevertheless,
We
a
know.
playoff win.
Yeah, we know.
No,
dog.
A playoff win.
I
We've seen that.
I seen a player put
We've
up
seen
the
that.
second most points in a playoff debut ever,
I'm gonna
and
cry.
then we lost, and now he's gone.
yeah.
Nothing you say is gonna hurt me.
Yeah,
know,
we've
yeah,
been through it all,
we've
man.
been hurt.
We can't have
Our
any
whole
more
life
pain.
for
Yeah.
24 plus years. We've
We
all
got-
been getting hurt.
We got 1 year. We got 1 year of the Beam team, and that's why we're here today. So shout
Yeah.
out to them.
Shout out to them.
But we gotta SGA's him no on a 3-1 comeback in the chat.
Yeah,
You're
no.
probably right. It's a 4%
agree.
chance of it happening. All right, I guess we can get into the trivia. How many 3-1 comebacks?
Here we go.
He's still roasting the Kings. He says Levine and DeRozan left Chicago just to lose in the play-in on a different team.
Dog,
Yeah.
We
lay
know,
on that.
we
Like,
know.
you can't
Yeah.
say something else
We're
that's
hurt.
been
We
around for
know.
a while.
We
man.
know.
We know.
We need a point guard. We don't want
Can you drop
DeRozan.
some?
We don't want Levine.
Can you drop some ball knowledge that hasn't been around for I don't know ever?
Y'all want DeRozan out there,
Hey,
Andy?
Yeah, you want DeRozan?
Y'all want,
we'll,
y'all want DeMar?
we'll take Mathurin.
We'll take Mathurin.
We'll take Mathurin off your hands if
Yeah.
you're not going to play him. I'd be down. You want Sabonis back? We'll take Tyrese.
Yeah, we'll take Tyrese back.
But yeah,
It's
move-
okay. We're just having fun.
He
Don't
said
worry about it.
sorry. LOL. Yeah, it's okay. We know the pain is real in
We-
Sac. But all right, how many?
We hate on our organization
Yeah.
on the daily. So
Yeah, we know. How many 3-1 comebacks can we name? If you have any in the chat, also you can say it as well. Hopefully these
All right,
guys aren't
all
looking
right.
at
Chat,
the
let's
chat.
knock
Let's not
out
look at the
the
chat.
two
Let's-
easiest ones. All right.
Yeah. Give me. There's 13 teams that have come back from 3-1 in history,
In
the
any
playoffs.
playoff
So
series.
Any
let's,
playoff
just,
series.
let's just say happy birthday, Bron.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Bron.
birthday, Bron. What year?
You got that one. That was
2016.
2016.
Same
Okay.
year the
Same
Warriors
year.
came back.
Yeah.
Warriors Thunder.
And
Yep.
then let's go to 2020 when
Now
the
it's- you
when the
gotta
Nuggets did it back to back.
Yep.
They did it against Utah, and then they did it against the Clippers.
Oh,
in the
he
West
knows ball.
Semis.
Oh, he knows ball.
And
he knows
then-
ball.
Carry me.
And then
He knows ball.
And then hang on, before
Go subscribe before you leave.
Bef-
Thanks for tuning in.
before the Thunder did it, or before the Warriors did it to the Thunder in 2016, you just go back 1 year previous to that, and the Rockets did it. I'm trying to remember what team.
Ooh, you have it. You have it. It's a
No, don't give me a hint because I'm trying to remember the playoffs.
Carry me.
2015.
Who was still there? Who was
The
Point
year
guard.
It was the
are
Clippers.
Yep.
spinning.
the Clippers.
Clippers.
CP3 was still in LA for that one.
Yes, he was.
I don't think there's.
Shout out to Josh Smith in that series. He cooked.
I think
He did.
I don't
On
think
Houston,
there's
he cooked.
any
Crazy
more
cool.
in the 2000s.
There is 2 more in the 2000s, but it's definitely before
There's
our
one
time
in
of being.
06.
Yes, there's one in 06. And I think it's one of your favorite players ever.
Steve Nash.
Yeah, Steve Nash.
The Suns did it against. They made it to the
RIP.
semifinals.
R.I.P.
Oh, they did it to the Lakers.
Mhm. They did it to the
Whoa.
Lakers.
Oh,
Suns. I think that's the last one I'm gonna get.
Yeah, they did it to the Lakers in 06. I think I think that was one of the years Steve Nash won MVP. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. But yeah, some other teams that have done it. Pistons came back in 03 against the Magic. And before that, the Heat came back in 97 against the Knicks. Rockets did it in 95. And then we're going back to the 80s and the 70s. So we weren't really, around for that. But you did get the ones from the 2000s. So
hey, good carry.
he knows ball. Yeah,
Let's go.
Dev, you definitely got carried. Go over in it one more time. The Nuggets.
I'm a good role player.
Nuggets did it in 2020
Twice,
against the
back to back.
Clippers and against the Jazz. Cavs did it to the Warriors in 2016, blocked by James. Shout out to that. The Warriors did it to the Thunder in the same year, 2016. That was what made KD leave OKC.
Dude, we
Shout
need
out.
we need a button that I could hit, and it'll go blocked by James. Dude, that'd
And
be
then
awesome.
2015 Rockets did it to the Clippers. So that good job, Luke. You killed that.
Hell yeah.
You got some ball knowledge.
Yeah. So that
You
was
know
some
balls.
good trivia.
The Suns did it. I feel like
Yeah, that was Steve Nash.
that's insane.
Yeah.
That's why he won that MVP.
Thanks for that hint. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have got it without that hint.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are about 52 minutes into the show, so I think it's time to jump into some baseball.
Baseball.
Dude,
Um,
it sucks talking about
Yeah, it sucks for me right now too.
really. What
Yeah.
the Giants are struggling.
Yeah, they've been on the struggle bus here
Yeah.
lately. I mean, they're
Don't talk to me about
Yeah,
struggling.
don't-
You guys
don't
are
even-
in-
No, okay,
you guys are in
yeah.
second.
Don't
in
give me
the-
that.
in the NL West.
if they didn't get out to such a hot start, they'd literally be 500. They're playing 500 baseball right now for the last like 2 weeks. They
The
started
A's-
out whatever they did, and now they're like 15-15 since then.
The A's were above 500 before this
Yeah.
11-game losing
Yeah.
streak.
Yeah,
And then they go and they lose 11 in a row. A lot has been happening for the A's in Sacramento. We will start with them, Mark Kotsay and
dude,
Andujar
that
getting
was
ejected
hilarious.
the other night, having to walk
that walk.
that long
Thank you.
walk in Sutter Hills Park is not a good one.
I feel like at the same time though, man-made history.
Yeah.
Like
He's the
that's-
first one to take the walk of shame, and they're all just standing. I loved it, dude. It was
Yeah,
so
but then,
hilarious.
like,
He just
What did minor league managers do? They had to make the same walk.
I guess nobody cared.
Yeah, I guess
yeah,
not.
for real.
I guess
Dang,
no one really
wow, nobody
no one really
cared.
cared.
No
Nobody cared.
minor league manager
That's
cared
what I
enough
was
to get
thinking.
thrown out of the
That's
game.
what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I mean, the stadium's getting so much hate, and I hate to see it because
Yeah,
Players,
we were so excited to see, our favorite team come to Sacramento. If you told us that when we were 12 years old, we would be crying on the floor,
yeah.
thanking the heavens. And they just hate it here, and it kind of takes all the fun away for us. They
It's-
suck at home. They hate playing here. There's so many bad things about the stadium. It's not a vibe.
there's one reason. It's because John Fisher himself neglected the city. Like he didn't want to be a part of Sacramento at all.
We would have
That is-
embraced
I do
them.
think
Like
that is an underrated big part.
That
of it,
is. That
Yeah.
is.
of
like, it's-
why people like aren't going to the games and why it's mostly opposing like teams fans. Yeah, I think that plays an underrated.
You
part.
walk in and there's nothing that like supports Sacramento at all besides
Yeah.
the little badge
Patch.
on their
One little
jersey.
patch.
But then on the opposite jersey, it says Las Vegas. In the center field, it says Las Vegas everywhere. You're not allowed to lean on the fences in right field.
Just go
Like,
to
you-
the Aces field, bro. Just go play there.
it pisses me off showing up to that. Like, and then I went to a River Cats game a couple weeks after I went to an A's game, and I was like, this is awesome. This is
way better.
This is baseball like feeling.
Yeah.
And now the A's just lost 5-3 just now. So that's
yeah,
cool.
right now.
Right now they just lost.
Right now. So that is what is that? 12 in the last 13 games?
Yeah.
12 in the last 13 games. No, 13 of the last 14 games the A's have lost.
Yeah, it's not the stadium. I mean,
stadium ain't giving up 450 homers to Schwarber. Bad culture. Bring back Coco. Hey, that's facts. Get Coco back on the coaching staff at least.
To be fair, Schwarber hits 400.
Oh, him.
Volpe is nice. That's all I'll say about the A's. I like Volpe.
Yes, they are a nice team, but I'm never going to support the Yankees.
Judge is MVP. Volpe's nice. Yankees still not winning the ring.
13 of their 27 chips were before the Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. Just want to put that out there.
Crazy. That's crazy. And there was probably like 10 teams in the whole league at that point.
That's actually insane.
But all right, so on the A's, they won. They finally won a game the other day against the Phillies. They finally won after losing 11 in a row. Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
They closed the series out with a win. Logan Davidson and Willie McCaver have both had their first MLB hits.
Shout out.
Shout out to them. McClaver, he started behind the plate. He was, catching, and he hit the clutch go-ahead RBI single in the bottom of the 8th inning that, gave the A's the lead. And then he threw out a runner that was stealing at second to end the game. So a crazy first game for him. And, I don't know what they're going to do with Langoliers. If they're going to DH one of them or something, but I like both those guys.
I like both of them.
So you got to have both of them in the lineup at some point.
Also, shout out my friend Marissa. She went to high school with McClaver.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see that actually.
Yeah.
She said that. That's crazy. Shout out to him, man. He's a baller. I love his game. He throwing out that guy at second to end the game. It was an absolute dart thrown to second. That was legendary performance in his first game.
Not as easy to do anymore either with the big old bases and stuff.
And you had your closer on the mound. And closers are never good at holding runners on. Mason Miller has that long leg kick that's going to take forever. Luckily he throws 104, so that probably helped. That probably helped.
Yep.
But yeah, also Logan Davidson, he can play every single position on the infield. He started at first. He came up as a second baseman. He can play short. He can play third. He can play the entire outfield. That's someone you want on your team.
Call a utility.
Kind of like Chris Taylor. Now he's on the Angels, of course. I'm pissed about that. Because the Angels are actually nice now. Without Mike Trout, that's not good for us. But
they gotta trade him.
Mike Trout, he's just hurt
healthy.
every time.
I know he's hurt every year, but someone needs to pick up.
But I would not be mad if they traded him.
I know you want him in SF.
I do. They should have did that.
That would be big. That would be big.
I don't see him finishing out his whole. How long is 13-year, 14-year contract?
Yeah.
I don't see
somebody
it
will
finishing.
get him.
Would you give up Bryce Eldridge for Mike Trout right now? Damn. Would you give up?
I don't think you
Kyle
have
Harrison
to right now. Maybe.
Yeah. And Luciano.
You'd have to give a few players.
Matos in there.
Yeah.
I saw Matos isn't happy with his playing time.
I mean, Yaz is playing better.
Yeah, that's all you can say. But Logan Davidson, his first knock came off former A, Jesus Luzardo in the first inning. He had a two RBI double, so shout out to him. Made some good plays in the field as well. So that a great game for those two guys.
Yeah.
First MLB hits for both of them. That's big. And then the A's, it's just a roster change every single day. I wake up and they either picked up a random pitcher off the waiver wire, they're sending someone down, calling someone up. Is never the same roster every day.
I will say I just went through about 3 years of that after the 2021. And even in 2021, they did that. Yeah. And that's even some of the reason that they were so good and able to win so many games is because guys just kept coming from out of nowhere and having good years. But, I will say now, even though we know what we know, and I think this is kind of the team that they were going to be before the year started. Good thing they got off to such a hot start. But, we know they need another first baseman, probably another left-handed bat. Come on, Wade.
Oh, you're talking about the Giants.
Bro. Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
But I will say having that consistency I think they've only had 2 or 3 changes to the roster so far this year, and mostly it's because Schmidt got hurt, Fitzgerald got hurt. They're both back. And there's only been 1 or 2 changes to the roster all year so far. And I will say that's and I think it does help the players too, knowing who's going to be in the locker next to you every day. Not that it's going to be somebody different every time you look.
Yeah.
So, hopefully these young guys for the A's stay.
Yeah.
And at least for a few years until John Fisher trades them away. But I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Oh my
But
God.
hopefully they could get some stay and some consistency, because I will say it's been a lot better just this one half a year than the last 3 years.
One thing that I saw that made me happy about nothing happy about the move to Vegas, but something happy about the future is there are potential investors that might have to buy into the A's because Fisher don't have enough money to make the whole stadium right now.
Yeah,
So it might
more
go up
money
to
to
might go up
spend.
to like $2 billion for the stadium. And with these investors coming in, maybe they are like, all right, let's get this guy out of this.
Well, get somebody to buy how much of the A's does he own? Does he own?
He owns pretty much all of
100%?
it. He's like,
Yeah, somebody's got to buy him out.
he's in command of like pretty much all of it.
Give him an offer he can't refuse, bro.
I'm sick of him. But, we got to go over the guys that made their debut last night because, like I said, the A's make roster moves every single day. Someone's making their major league debut every single night.
Somebody did today.
Yeah, somebody definitely did today. But Drew Avins got his first major league hit last night. Shout out to him. And Luke, you actually called this last show. You said Denzel Clark, he still didn't have his first major league hit yet. And now, they were playing in Sacramento. He went over in Sacramento. And last night he got his first major league hit. Once they left Sacramento in a major league stadium.
There you go.
That's what you said last week. But it wasn't a hit's a hit, but
It was a hustle out.
you saw
He beat the play.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, all I see in
It
the
was
books
the-
is
There's a
a
little
is a
dribbler.
hit.
all I see in the books is a base hit.
It's a
but,
hustle play right there.
Yeah, it was, he's not
Hey,
impressing
play to
me.
your strengths.
He's not impressing me.
It's
I mean,
fine.
He plays good in the field,
He
but
went 0 for 4 today.
yeah, I want JJ Bleday back as soon as possible.
Play to your strengths. I mean, I will say,
Has
like,
he been any better?
He can hit a little bit. He can hit a little bit.
A little bit.
He can. He
Let
hits
him-
like 230. But
give them, if you're gonna bring these guys up too, I hope they get like enough time to kind of get on a roll. Like
yeah,
some of these guys, the last few years have just on both the A's and the Giants come up, go back down, come up, go back down.
mhm,
Like the pitchers, you're saying they come up, throw a game,
yeah,
come back down. Like Hayden Birdsong's first start was in Colorado, and he threw like 6 innings, a bunch of strikeouts, only gave up 1 run, and
that
then
doesn't count though.
the
'cause
next
it's against
day-
the Rockies.
well,
They've
yeah,
lost
but
21 games in a row.
It
No,
was
I'm
last
kidding,
year.
but
It
that
was
is-
in Colorado though,
that
so
is
that's
crazy,
when I
though.
knew he was going to be good.
Uh-huh.
But the next day, he's back on San Jose, like in Single A, because they needed to bring up somebody for
Yeah.
this matchup. Like it's just, I don't like baseball to be played that way,
Yeah,
and I like want guys to get a shot to know their role. And I feel like when guys do know what they're going to be expected of every day, is they perform better.
yeah. Well, the A's, they've kind of been forced to make some moves because Nicholas Kurtz got put on the
Good one.
injured list. So he, they had to call
What
up.
happened?
His wrist, or no, his
Ah.
left hip. Sorry. So shout out to him. He was playing good too. He was
Yeah.
hitting the ball good.
Like a swing.
Yeah, it's a good swing. But the A's traded. I woke up yesterday and it says they acquired a left-handed pitcher,
For
Sean
cash.
Newcomb from the Red Sox.
I've heard of Sean.
I have
Newcomb.
too. I feel like he might have been on the A's before, something
He-
like that.
It's not
Look him
doing
up.
too hot this year.
Look him up.
Yeah,
I just looked up his stats.
I mean, there's a reason they just gave him up for cash.
Is that like
Um,
a 3? Yeah.
But yeah, then they sent all these
Some
other
of the
relief
teams he's
pitchers
on.
down that they've been trying to build on. And Seth Brown cleared waivers. Now he's going to Vegas, AAA. So
He hasn't been doing good
Hey.
at
oh
all
no,
either.
no,
At least
So-
he's still there though.
yeah,
You
we
know,
didn't
if he
lose him.
starts doing good, he can come back.
We didn't lose him.
Oh, he
But
was on the
He was
A's.
I knew
for
it, yeah.
2023,
Sean
2024.
Newcomb. Yeah,
I knew I
Yeah.
heard his
Yeah,
name.
well,
and then the Braves before
he's
that.
back.
He's back.
Is Sean Newcomb the savior
He's
of
the
A's
answer.
baseball? He might be the answer.
No,
I don't know about
the
that.
stats right here are kind of mid.
What's
but,
his ERA? 8.
This year?
3.95.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I can live with the 3.5
Uh,
ERA.
games
that is
played
actually
12,
not bad.
but he is 0 for 4. 0 and 4.
0-4. Yeah, win loss hasn't been.
Yeah.
It's fake, bro.
Yeah.
Win loss hasn't been important.
I
Since
mean, he's
like
also
the
on.
2000s.
He was on the
Sure.
Red Sox when they're negative right
Yeah.
now. so-
Damn. And Bregman's doing good too,
Dude, that
Um,
AL East is terrible
Bunts.
besides the Yankees.
except the Yanks.
Like-
Shout out to Diego.
Dude, the Orioles fall off is crazy.
I feel
Oh,
so bad.
They
for
missed
them.
their window so bad.
Their window was like 2
And
years.
it was only like that's
A
what sucks
year.
about it is it was so short. Like it just happened and it came out of nowhere that they were like, and they just didn't make
It's
the right
just
moves to
that-
build
yeah,
off of it.
that
Like they
young-
still have
They're
no
still
pitching
young.
staff. They have no pitching staff.
Their young talent is there, but their pitching staff all left last year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Corbin
absolutely.
Burns,
Yeah.
the other dude.
A
I
few
think they
other
traded
guys.
somebody mid-year
Yeah.
last year. Yeah,
They made the wrong moves in the offseason. Like they kind of did it to themselves.
Sacramento Kings-esque for the second time of the show.
Well, Diego said Yankees Angels tonight. Are you going to the game, Diego, to see your just judge? That's what I'm gonna say. But
Yeah, he is going.
and Don Newcomb is a Hall of Fame pitcher.
Oh,
We got
relation?
Sean Newcomb. I don't know if they're related, but I mean, maybe Sean can develop into
Oh man.
that.
Oh no, the name's
but
spelled differently, but
before-
yeah, he's not wrong.
Before we close out, Jacob Wilson, I saw ranking by, MLB. He's the 5th best player in the entire American League. Jacob Wilson.
How
Before this year
ridiculous to say
started,
that.
he was a
Shout
60
out.
overall in MLB The Show.
This is
60.
MLB.
60 overall.
San Diego studio, get your stuff together.
He's still only like a 73 overall. That needs to change
Yeah,
immediately.
They're bugging.
Jacob Wilson is the 5th best player in the entire American League. And now he went yard again today. He's playing great defense at shortstop.
Mhm.
He's hitting homers now. He's my favorite player in the
He's
entire
gonna
MLB.
be traded.
No, just don't ever say that. We drafted him. We developed him. He's going to be here forever.
Yeah, I feel like he's part of this new squad that
I don't-
John
yeah.
Fisher's actually like, all right, now we can build a team since I got
Yeah.
to my money
I
spot.
don't think we've
To
ever
my
had a
money
shortstop
spot.
this good. I can't remember the A's actually having a good shortstop.
Marcus
Marcus
Semien?
Semien?
That's a good point. It's a good pull. I'm taking
Just
Jacob
that one,
Wilson.
though. Just that
Just
one.
that one.
I'm
Yeah.
still taking Marcus
Semien had
Semien.
about 2 years where he was hitting homers,
Yeah,
and then he
and
kind
then
of
he went to-
he fell off.
And then he went to
Well, and then he
Toronto.
had an
He
MVP
did
season.
yeah, in
next
Toronto.
season.
See, yeah,
Like-
he got close. He didn't win MVP
He was second MVP.
on the
Yeah.
A's.
No, on Toronto.
That-
Toronto. The next year he was gone. He
He
almost
was
won
third.
it.
He was
He went
third.
to
He was third or
Toronto?
Yeah.
fourth on.
He still is, I think.
No, he's on Texas.
He's on Texas
Oh,
now.
yeah, no, but
Yeah.
Donaldson went to Toronto.
On the A's, he was 5th or 4th in MVP voting when he was with us. But then the next year,
Yeah.
he got second.
I guess you're right. I thought we moved him to second though for a while.
he
No, 'cause
did.
We had what's his name? Tony Kemp was at second.
That's actually a good.
I know
good call.
he
Good call.
plays second, and he did a little bit in Toronto once Boba Shea
Yeah.
got there, and then now he plays second now
plays
because of
second.
Corey Seager.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he went to Texas the year
Yeah.
they won the World Series.
Uh-huh. He did. He
has
did.
it.
But before
Um,
that, he was on Toronto. Yeah.
But
And then-
before Semien, they didn't have a good shortstop. They were
Yeah.
playing. I remember Steven Drew playing
Yeah.
Who's
shortstop.
that? The Weeks, didn't they play shortstop?
Jamal Weeks.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He was so good for 1 year. He was
Yeah.
so good. Who else? Cliff Pennington. That's my
That was
dad's
third
favorite
base.
player of all time.
Pennington.
Third base.
No, he played short. Cliff Pennington, and I think he might have played second.
think
more
he's
than
swapped-
short.
I do
Cliff
only know
Pennington-
him as a second baseman.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong about short, but yeah, the A's have never really had a dominant shortstop besides Semien, I guess, like Jacob Wilson. Yeah, he's hitting Jacob Wilson. I gotta look up his stats before we
Oh,
close out.
Infielder,
Second
second baseman.
Yeah.
Yeah. He probably played all the infield spots.
Because I remember playing 2K13 MLB,
Really?
and he played third base on that, which was crazy.
This year, Jacob Wilson is hitting 348 with 28 RBIs and only 11 strikeouts. He's only struck out 11 times.
And he doesn't walk.
doesn't
a lot
walk. He
Either.
only has 12
he
walks.
Don't want to walk or strike out.
He's getting
Puts
base
the ball in
hits.
play. That's sick, dude. I would love to have him.
Yeah.
Swinging that bat, man.
Yeah,
And-
now he's hitting homers, which no one really expected to.
Hey, he's
So,
about to get random drug tests. Random drug testing.
On the season, 348 average, 6 home runs, 28 RBIs, 71 hits.
he's him.
Is 71 hits already?
Yeah.
In
Tough.
52 games?
It's crazy.
That's actually insane.
That's
Rookie.
crazy.
Just as good as Tony Gwynn his rookie year. I'm pretty sure I saw a stat like that.
Tony,
recently.
yeah.
He's the next
that's
Tony Gwynn.
Low-key,
Yeah.
if he keeps it up, like that's what it reminds me
Yeah.
of.
All right. Well, we got to close out, but before we do, some announcements. So, like I said earlier, on Friday, me and Luke are going to be interviewing. Sorry, Dev, you can't make it. I wish you could. It's okay though. But we're going to have Christian on from Enjoy Basketball, the producer
sir.
of the Numbers on the Board podcast,
Yes,
all the way
sir.
from Chicago. We're going to be meeting with him over Zoom. So shout out to him.
Big shout out.
Shout out all of
Then
them.
Saturday, we plan to have Dom on, 7-foot Monterey Bay phenom, who he just sat out this year at Monterey Bay, but next year he's coming back and he's recovering from an ACL tear. So maybe our thing is getting guys that are coming back from injury. Since we just had Randy on coming back, maybe this, will get them some recognition to get them
Hey.
hyped up for the year.
I was trying to think of somebody that's injured. I
That's
can't
coming
remember.
back.
Christian McCaffrey, come on the show, bro.
He's always there.
Oh, dude.
Okay.
We need to find Monty McNair, man. 'cause,
Yeah?
my boy Duncan just saw him in public.
Oh yeah, you did say that
at the sandwich place
Yeah.
we were at just the
the other day.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Other day. Yeah.
at Lamb Park.
So we got to go.
Shout out.
we
Yeah.
got to go hang out there and be like, "Yo, Monty,
Yeah, Monty.
come answer some
Come
real
on the
questions."
show, talk about the Kings. But yeah, also some announcements. Next week, plan to have a UFC preview
It's been a while.
with our guy from London,
We're gonna call
Sebastian. Yep. Also Randy Payne. Hopefully get him on for that. UFC expert as well.
I won't be able to say anything.
Yeah,
That's what I said. Hey, it'll be fun though.
It's gonna be a crazy fight because it's the championship rematch. My favorite fighter, Sugar Sean O'Malley, going against Marab, who beat him in the championship fight a couple months ago, and now they're rematching for the belt. Should be fun to watch.
I do know Sugar Sean.
Yeah, that's the homie right there. But yeah, I guess we can close out. Go subscribe on YouTube. Go follow us on everything. Shout out to Luke for getting the Spotify going.
Hell yeah.
Spotify.
It'll be up later this day or tomorrow.
Tomorrow, most likely, yeah. But all right, we will close out. Thanks for tuning in. Love everything in the chat. We'll be back on Saturday at the bar and Friday for Christian.
Cheers.
Catch y'all.
Yes, sir. Let's go A's.